Okay, so this will be an example that as a player, you can make any decision you want in a Pathfinder or a D20 or tabletop game. Sometimes those decisions can be very, very stupid. The character Terse, played by my friend Dan, you may have watched... Yeah, hello Dan. How are you doing today?
Oh, just peachy.
So,
There's peaches behind me.
if you saw how beastly his character was, if I do a side-by-side check here real quick, don't mind me stealing this from you. So, Balmund here is a level 2, and I just did a level up video for him with all of his stuff. And then side-by-side, it's kind of hard to see, but beastly. So, just comparing the two levels here, quite a difference. For one, their HP, Balmund has 14 HP, and Terse has 63, because he's a level 9. Okay, so here's your scenario. Let's say I'm not the GM and this character. Let's say I'm playing this character here, Balmund, and I'm a fighter who's a part of a party, the same party as Terse. He hits on the same barmaid that I'm trying to get my character with, and so I get kind of pissed off and decide I want to fight his character. Now, number one in these games, cooperation is usually a good idea. Not always. You can have a character who fights, of course, that can sometimes be interesting. But you do anything you want in these games. So I'm going to pick a fight with him. So, as the GM, I would say, what do you do? And as a player character, I would say, I walk over to Terse and say, hey, you may have been drinking a lot last night, but that's no excuse to go after the girl that I was with. Does Terse say anything?
You weren't with her. You were trying to get with her.
But half of the people in the bar start laughing. It's like, all right, that's it. You're short, and I'll prove that, I'll spill your blood. And he turns and walks out of the inn. He draws his sword on the way out of the door, indicating he wishes to duel you. What do you do?
I'll wait a minute. And then go outside. I'll finish my drink.
People follow you out of the tavern to watch this happen. Balmund is outside, pacing back and forth, very upset. So, if I was the GM, I would ask Balmund's player character, so what do you do? And say, well, apparently you had the guts to come back outside. You sure you don't want to walk away? So, as a GM, I'm switching back and forth. As a GM, I would say, roll an intimidate check. This would be a will save. Yeah, against Terse. So,
What did you roll?
a 10.
I'm not even going to bother rolling then. My save is 12.
You're not even phased. To you, this is a mewling child who is upset that you took away something from him.
I took away his play toy.
GM's note, there are some players that will get really upset over really dumb things. In my little scenario here, Terse didn't even really do anything with this girl. He probably just complimented her, and this guy's overreacting. So, we're going to watch him get slaughtered because he picks a fight with a 9th level character.
We're going to have more fun slaughtering him than that, though.
So, Balmund, standing out in the street, waves his sword about and says, well, you going to come fight me, shorty?
Nah. I'm gonna cast Line in the Sand.
Line in the Sand is a spell that he's able to cast at will.
So, for those of you who don't know, what Line in the Sand does, in a 5-foot radius around me, I basically have a line, a drawn circle around me. Anything that steps within that circle, I get an attack of opportunity on.
Yep, and an attack of opportunity means it doesn't have to follow the turn basis, or you don't have to roll initiative. You just automatically get to go and stabbity-stab or whatever, because they're within reach. Another example of an attack of opportunity is somebody turns around mid-combat to run away. You can stab them in the back as an attack of opportunity because they're not facing you. So, Balmund decides to sheath his sword. He kind of struts around for a while. He says, fine, I'll come to you. And he starts walking towards you. One of the other party members, an elven man, his name is Dwenedel, He watches this whole thing go on. He looks at your line drawn in the sand and says nothing. He looks to Balmund and says, "It would not be wise to come and attack this guy. He definitely has something over you." He's like, "Oh, well, it's obviously not height," and keeps watching. Some people laugh. He just shakes his head, raises his hands, and steps back. Balmund walks right up next to you. You get an attack of opportunity. He has raised his fist and he's coming in to hit you.
How far away is he?
He's about 5 feet.
Remember that great spell that one of the Viking ladies gave me? Snowball? I'm gonna yell as loud as I can, "Snowball fight!" and throw a snowball in his face.
On a warm summer day, Terse produces a snowball and smacks Balmund in the face with it.
It does 1d6 of cold damage.
Oh! Roll for it.
So I do actually have to roll the attack to make sure it hits.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this one I had my dex... Oh, shit, that rolled low. Yeah, base attack, so 10 plus 14?
Okay, you hit him.
No, 10 plus 4. So yeah, 14.
Okay, yeah, and Balmund's AC is 14, so you hit him.
Smack on the face with the snowball. That does 5 damage.
Awesome. Or is there a fortitude save to cut that in half, or none at all?
I don't know. I tried looking up the spell, and it's not actually in there.
Oh. Okay, well, just as an example, I'll say there is a fortitude save for the spell. Oh, that went up by 1. Whatever. So, what I would do to roll a fortitude save is, of course, roll D20. 7. Okay, that's probably not going to get it. So, what a fortitude save in most cases will do is not make sure you are not damaged at all. It'll just make whatever damage you get cut in half. So, it wouldn't be 5 damage, it would probably round down to like 2. But he failed it anyway, so he gets 5 damage. So 14 minus 5, so I'll just keep a running total of his HP. Okay, so obviously he stumbles back, and I would tell the player playing Balmund, you feel an intense pain in your face, as if part of it's being frozen solid. Balmund, me playing Balmund, I would say, okay, I draw my sword. I'm going to attack Terse. So, I'll roll roll Inish. He has quick draw, so he doesn't have to draw the sword. 14 plus his initiative, which is 6, so 20.
I also rolled 20.
Reroll. Reroll is, in this case, we would both roll to see who goes first, since we rolled the same thing. 25.
Oh, he goes first.
He's pissed.
Yeah.
Alright, so, what is your AC? Oh god, it's 27, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remembered.
He has to crit to hit me. Doesn't he?
No. So, he swings, and as a GM, usually you tell your player what happened. So even if I'm playing Balmund, I don't determine what I do. I could say I swing my sword at him. But, so Balmund swings at you, and all you have to do is basically duck.
Huh.
You're short enough as a halfling, it's not even really a problem. You just kind of over the top of you. Your turn!
I'm going to throw another snowball at him.
Roll your attack.
Oh.
1. Okay. You go to throw one at him, and he's so mad, he leans back to try to heave at you again with the sword. You throw over him and end up hitting one of the villagers. Let me roll their fortitude check. Okay, so the guy standing back there, standing with his mug of ale, you smack him, and he falls over and starts rolling on the ground screaming.
Sorry!
People around him just kind of laugh because he got hit by a magical snowball. Which really hurt and kind of sucks.
In the middle of the summer.
Yeah! They've seen magic before, so they're not too phased. And with that, Inish. I didn't move this little thing, but that's mostly just for the GM to use.
24 again.
You go first.
You rolled a 1, didn't you?
Yeah, so on the last attack, I don't know if we said, but Dan rolled a 1. So when you roll a 1 in D20, it's a critical failure. And usually with like swinging a sword at somebody, that's like you let go of your sword and it goes flying away from you. or something really bad like that. Like you go to shoot somebody with a bow and arrow and you drop your arrow.
Oh. How big is the area that we're in?
So it is Terce's turn. I'll actually start using this. Round 2. The area you're in a street, so it's really wide open. You're standing over towards the inn, so behind you there are people about 10 feet behind you, and in front of you you have about 30 feet to the other side of the road.
How close to us is the tavern that we were in?
It's about 15 feet behind you.
I'm going to cast Obscuring Mist and then walk into the tavern.
Okay! So, you cast that. I have to roll perception for this guy. Wow, okay, he's still mad. Do you roll stealth at all to try to, like, sneak back?
Sure.
Alright. So with this, I would add his perception score, which is... Oh, I didn't put anything in that. So, it's a 19.
32.
Okay, so you just kind of disappear into the crowd and walk in. You hear yelling outside of the tavern, and Balmund ends up bursting into the tavern.
I'm going to be sitting down and drinking.
Okay, so to continue, Terce has gone into the tavern and just sat down and resumed drinking. And Balmund, even more enraged now, comes in and finds him just sitting there. Balmund immediately charges you. Do you roll in it? Well, yeah. I'd say in-ish.
I'm not going to hit him for the rest of this fight.
Wow, so Terce is being extremely nice. So,
I'll just dodge.
what I'll do here is, as Balmund runs in, I'll give him an attack of opportunity then, with his sword. So he gets a +6 to hit Terce. But Terce has a 27 AC, so...
So he has to crit to hit me.
Yep. Okay, no. So basically, he runs forward, takes a wide swing at you with his sword. You lift your mug and it catches it in the mug. So it doesn't go through. He begins to, like, growl and picks up his sword to swing at you again. When the barmaid he ended up liking, kind of runs in and tries to talk it down. She's like, hey, stop. So I'm going to roll a diplomacy check for her. Give her some good charisma, so GM note on the little video here. And I'm going to make, let's say a will save for this guy. Okay, yeah. So she comes up, grabs his arms and says, hey, stop. He doesn't want to fight you, don't you see that? Balmund kind of thinks of it for a second, sheaths his sword, picks up some of his gear in the tavern, just kind of snorts, turns, and stomps out of the tavern. The barmaid turns to you and says, that was actually pretty awesome.
Well,
It gives you a free, large tankard of ale.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
Terce was really nice, but seriously, don't pick fights with higher level characters.